What's going on, Colts Nation? Welcome back to another episode of the Bring the Juice Colts podcast. Hope you are having a great Sunday. But I just wanted to say football is still away. Playoffs are still commencing today. And we saw both the number one seeds Saturday, get knocked out by their divisional rivals or conference rivals there. The Bengals upset the Titans, and of course, we're all having a lot of fun doing that. And the 49ers somehow found a way to go into Lambeau Field and defeat the Green Bay Packers. And of course, when I get onto Twitter this morning, I was, expecting to see some people talking about the games. And the first 7 or 8 posts that I see when I get into my phone is Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams to Indianapolis. Now, look, we already made a video kind of talking about the possibilities of stuff like this. We talked about Rodgers and Russell and Carr. Those are the 3 big names, right? Everybody's been talking about them, right? Well, here's the thing. I'm going to start and preface this video by saying that, again, I do not believe this is going to happen. I do not believe this is going to happen, okay? And I'm not doing this to put a stipend in Carson Wentz. I'm not trying to trigger anybody. This is for an open discussion, okay, people? So stop coming in with the hate. And just accept that this is a talking point to potentially think about what could happen this offseason, okay? So again, I was always saying it in the back of my mind that the only way that Rodgers and Adams would leave is if something were to happen that would make them think, man, it just seems like a waste of time. We just don't seem to be progressing. And, a lot of people kept saying Green Bay to the Super Bowl. This was the team, right? The way that Rodgers was playing, the way that the offense was playing. They scored 10 points against San Francisco, man. And, Rodgers was asked about it after in the post game, saying, I'll take some time and figure out my decision, obviously before free agency. And, he says he doesn't really want to be part of a rebuild. There's some guys' contracts that are coming up, and he doesn't really want to be part of a rebuild. Again, exactly what the Colts could fit for Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. Say what you want about the Colts roster. It's got some really good pieces on it. Even if you had to trade a piece or two to be able to make a deal like that work. And look, I know I've seen some people talk about this argument on Twitter the other day. And I heard the argument that said, Ballard and Irsay want to build a franchise guy for a 10-year period, right? I've heard people say that. And you're right. That is the mantra, right? That's been the mantra of Ballard from the beginning, right? Is that you want to build the team, right? Because you want it to sustain, right? But listen, the Rams are in the mix right now for what they're doing. And it's because they went big. They've spent big money. They've spent draft capital. And look at where they are now. They're in a better position than the Colts. So again, I understand the talent differential there. But my biggest takeaway from this is that, look, even if Rodgers only stays for 3 or 4 years, that's 3 or 4 years that you could potentially win a Super Bowl. Yeah, so what if the window's only 3 years? So what? That's fine. Get me a Super Bowl. I don't care if it's within a 3-year window. The rest of your roster is still there. You just have to go find another quarterback in 3 to 4 years. That's not a big deal to me. That's not a big deal to me. I don't care if it's a big deal for the rest of you. For me, what would you rather have? A Super Bowl in one of your 3 years that you have with Aaron Rodgers, or one Super Bowl potentially in a 10-year period going after another quarterback that's not as good as what Aaron Rodgers is right now? What would you rather do? I'd rather not wait another 6, 7 years to go get a championship when I know I can maybe get one in 1 to 3 years. Maybe. And the thing is, Davante Adams, again, is a free agent. He's not tied to the Green Bay Packers. He can leave tomorrow if he wants to. And he said he wants to be with Rodgers. And look, I don't care what any of you say about the cap hit. I don't care what you think about our cap situation. I don't care what you think about draft, trading compensation. There is always a way to make it happen. Always. It will be much easier to get Davante Adams if you work the deal on Aaron Rodgers. It is so much easier. Because, again, Davante Adams, you don't have to trade for. He's just a cap. He's just cap. I mean, of course, you're going to probably have to pay him a decent amount because, you know, he's a top guy. He's the best wide receiver in the league. Of course, you're going to have to probably pay him a good amount of money. But having Aaron Rodgers, that is worth some guys. That is worth some draft capital. I know we don't have a ton this year. I know we don't. But ultimately, again, there is always ways to make things happen that way. If the Colts don't draft in the first round for the next 3 years, I don't really care if that means that I get to have Aaron Rodgers on my team. That's what you need to do. Sometimes that's what you need to do. The Rams have given up their first-round draft picks for the next 3 years in order to get guys like Jalen Ramsey and Matt Stafford. Heck, I think they've given up 3 or 4 first-rounders. Like, they ain't drafted first round in many years for many years. I mean, seriously, it's just not even, like, it's all worth it when you get a quarterback. Of course, my camera doesn't want to focus. It is all worth it when you want to get a generational quarterback, even if he's 38 years old, a quarterback that is clearly still at the top of his game, clearly is still one of the top 5 best quarterbacks in the league. I mean, you think about the opportunity of Aaron Rodgers, even if you don't get Davante Adams, even if you don't, even if somehow you didn't, you can still get a draft of receiver to go along with Michael Pittman, or even get a decent wide receiver in the free agent market for a decent amount of money. Or you invest that money into defense, into the defensive line that I've been talking about, and I will get into another video on that here in a little bit. But having Aaron Rodgers behind a revamped offensive line, obviously this year they did not play very well. That's not the standard that we hold ourselves to, the Indianapolis Colts. But even then, I'm still saying, like, even as bad as they were this year at times, that is still a million times better than what it would have been if you were watching the Bengals and Titans game yesterday. Oh, my God. That was really, really bad. The Colts offensive line's nowhere near that, right? And Aaron Rodgers is also much quicker, much better at making decisions. He probably wouldn't take as many sacks as Carson Wentz. Probably wouldn't. He'd still get sacked a few times, but he's not going to get quite as sacked or touched as much as Carson Wentz, I don't believe. You match him with this offensive line and the best running back in the league in Jonathan Taylor. You give him an option in Michael Pittman and maybe go get another guy. Maybe Adams goes with him. And then on top of it, you still have your main core defense that you still think going into this next year is going to get better. It was obviously pretty decent this year at times, but it was just inconsistent. You're thinking your defensive line's going to get revamped. I hope that it does. You're confident in your corners. That Colts defense was still a top 15 defense in the league, even though it had bad times. I'm just thinking about it, and I'm saying to myself, this is the opportunity the Colts were talking about. If Irsay and Ballard are serious about saying it is time to step up and make big moves, this is the move you could make. This is it. This is the one that could bring you a championship. This is the one. And not to mention, Rodgers, you get to play in a dome most of the year, right? You're not spending 8-9 games out on the road, even at home. You're not playing in the cold temperatures. You're not having to deal with weather and all this stuff. You're half your season, you're in a dome. And then on top of it, you're going to play some more teams. I mean, pretty much, if you're playing Jacksonville, you're in the warm for 1 game. And for the Texans, you're in a dome, right? You have to play Tennessee one time, but if you play them early enough in the season, it's not cold there, right? So, like, over half your season, you're in a dome in warm weather. Like, Rodgers, this makes sense, bro. Like, obviously, I'm saying a recruiting pitch here, but look, guys. Again, I said that I don't think this is going to happen. I really don't. I don't believe this will happen. But I could not think of a bigger blockbuster move for the Colts to make than to go and pitch a spot for Aaron Rodgers. Throw your immediate future into it. If you feel that Aaron Rodgers is the guy that can do it, and I believe he definitely is. And most Colts fans would agree to the exact same thing. Is Aaron Rodgers right now your best shot at getting you a Super Bowl? Name me one other option that is. And if any of you have any option or any feeling about it, then you're freaking lying. There is no other quarterback option out there on trade market, free agent market, nothing that is better than what Aaron Rodgers could give you right now. Not a single one. And that includes Carson Wentz. And that's no diss to Carson Wentz. Aaron Rodgers is on a whole other level. So this is your opportunity. And we've been talking about it. We're going to talk about it this whole offseason, that the Colts need to do something. Now, again, they may not even address quarterback. They may just spend that money at wide receiver. They may spend it on defensive line. They might spend it at corner. I don't know. But I'm just looking at this situation, and I'm telling myself, guys, we have the cap. Whether you believe it or not, we have the players and the draft capital in order to make something like that happen. We do. Regardless of whether you think it or not, we do. Teams trade away future first-round draft picks all the time. This is the moment. This could be the one. This could be the thing that pushes you to that next level. This is the one that takes you past the first round of the playoffs. This is what takes you past having to fight for a 17th game where you have to push for the playoffs. Having Aaron Rodgers in that situation, you won't have to fight the final last 2 weeks of the season to be able to find a playoff berth. Your team's already going to have won 10 games by the time you reach week 15. You're going to be in. Obviously, like I said again, I don't think it's going to happen because I think that I'm living in reality at the same time, but I'm also thinking to myself just how incredible it would be to have Aaron Rodgers and potentially Davante Adams coming into this, right? Aaron Rodgers and Davante Adams. That fixes your 2 issues on offense. 2. That fixes it. Your offense is elite at that point. Your offense is elite. We thought it was really good at one point during the season. That one's going to make it even better. Of course, I'm trying not to hype myself up too much more about it because I don't want to be disappointed. We're probably going to get disappointed, but guys, this is just one opportunity for the Colts. And like I said, I just think I don't think it's going to happen, but I could only imagine the possibility of that. It's just insane. And we know that Aaron Rodgers is best friends with Pat McAfee. And Pat, do us a favor here, bro. Help us out, man. Come on. Oh, man. But thank you guys again so much for the continued support. Hopefully you enjoyed this. I think it'd be pretty fun to see this happen. Obviously, I don't think it will happen, but I mean, it's the possibility, and we have seen it. We've seen blockbuster deals happen before. So thank you guys again so much for the continued support. Greatly appreciated. Let me know what your thoughts are of this situation in the comments. And as always, go Colts.